Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a family that bought a house right outside of New Jersey. But apparently the house was being watched by a nighttime stalker. Creepy, huh? Well guys, tune in to hear more about inside the watcher's house.
This large six-bedroom home in Union County, New Jersey is being watched, at least according to this lawsuit filed by its new owners who paid $1.3 million for their dream home in the picturesque town of Westfield. They claim the previous owners were aware of a man who calls himself the Watcher, but they never said anything.
I would be pretty
Back in June 2014, a couple purchased a beautiful home right outside of Westfield, New Jersey. Westfield is known to be one of the safest areas in the state, so they figured it was a great buy. This home had a lot of potential to it. It was very classy looking, nice quiet area, upscale. Also, it had 6 bedrooms. I could only imagine how big it was. The Broaddus family purchased the house for $1.3 million. So, just when you think things are going well, right? Back in June 2014, a couple purchased a beautiful home right outside of Westfield, New Jersey. Westfield is known to be one of the safest areas in the state, so they figured it was a great buy. This home had a lot of potential to it. It was very classy looking, nice quiet area, upscale. Also, it had 6 bedrooms. I could only imagine how big it was. The Broaddus family purchased the house for $1.3 million. So, just when you think things are going well, right? You think everything is going good. This family just purchased their dream home for $1.3 million. They're about to move in. But, not so fast. Things started to take a turn. Right after they officially closed the deal on their $1.3 million home, on June 2nd, before they moved in, the family was receiving these mysterious letters in their mailbox at their new home. But the letters appeared to be unidentified. The unidentified person somehow knew who they were and that they just purchased the house. So let's talk about the previous owners who lived in the house before it was bought by the Broaddus family. On November 29, 1999, the past owners purchased the house. But let's fast forward a little bit. On May 24, 2014, the people who were living in the house at this point were the people living there before the Broaddus family. They also received mysterious letters as well. Also, when they received the letters, they were identified. And they said it was from the last person in the family who was designated to watch the Westfield home. So basically, it was someone who had owned the house a long time ago. That family somehow along the line lost ownership to it, and from that point on they were left to just watch the house. The previous owners who owned the house did not tell the Broaddus family anything about receiving these creepy letters. The Broaddus family saw the house, looked at the 6-bedroom, 1-family home with the kids, and felt like it was the perfect fit for $1.3 million. They instantly fell in love with the house and bought it right away. But they didn't know that there was problems with these letters coming in. And the previous owners had not admitted that they were receiving these letters as well, till later on. When the previous owners were finally confronted about the letters, they basically just said that they didn't think the letters were brutal enough or disturbing enough, so they decided to just not let them know. Which then seemed they were disclosing something on purpose in order to prevent someone from backing out on buying the house. So that's when the Broaddus family was very upset and angry. So the Broaddus family decided to sue them anyways. Now, back to the letters. So the Broaddus family moved into the house not knowing it was being watched and had these problems with the letters or anything going on.
Do you need to fill the house with young blood, I request? ? Once I know their names, I will call to them and draw them to me. I ask the prior owners to bring to me young blood. My grandfather watched the house in the 20s, my father watched the house in the 60s, and now it's my time. I have been in charge of watching and waiting for the second coming.
So obviously the Broaddus family was very confused and worried, and at this point they started to put the pieces together. And that maybe someone had possibly owned this house in the past and was now just creeping watching them. Can you imagine that happened in your house? You open up these mysterious letters and you don't even know where they're coming from and who's sending them. The thought of being watched is very scary and creepy. The letters were freaking them out so bad they were hoping to figure out where they're coming from, who's sending them, just to clear it up and see if it was a prank. They didn't want to put themselves or their kids in no type of danger, and the idea of someone watching the house is just beyond creepy. And on June 18th, they received 2 more letters.
The first letter said, "Have you found out what's in the walls yet? I'm pleased to know your names and the names of the young bloods you brought me. Will the young bloods play in the basement? Who has the bedroom facing the streets? I'll know soon as you move in. It will help me know who's in which bedroom, so I can plan better."
And in the other letter, it talked about supposedly the person that wrote it said somehow the windows and doors watched them and kept tabs on them. Obviously, this creeped out the Broaddus family even more. And at this point, they decided they wanted nothing to do with the house. They wanted far away from it. They didn't want to own it no more. They wanted to just sell it. But they knew that it was going to be hard. They ended up in such a messed up situation. And on February 1st, 2015, the house was placed back on the market for $1.49 million. And over the next few months, the price dropped at least twice to $1.35 million and then down to $1.25 million. They weren't having any luck selling the house. So after time went on, they eventually pulled it out of the market. They felt like it wasn't going to have any type of success. Instead, they tried to rent the house out to people. They actually was able to get a family to rent the house and stay there without any creepy letters bothering them. So 3 weeks after the new family moved in the house, another letter came in. The content of this letter was actually never published to the public because it was supposed to be really threatening, really disturbing, and also really graphic. So they didn't release it. And apparently they received direct death threats. And on June 2015, a report came out that they had tested the envelopes and new DNA was picked up. This is when they would determine the person who was writing all the letters was a female. The reports have confirmed that the postmarks was from out of Carnegie. Carnegie is a city that is about 20 miles away from Westfield. It was a bit helpful but not specific. They could not do much with this. Just because someone sent it from Carnegie doesn't mean it was written out there. A FBI profiler examined the letters. They then was able to determine the person who has been writing these letters were probably old, but it was not helpful. So in 2016, the Broaddus family tried to get permission from the state to just tear down the house and put 2 new houses on the land. But unfortunately, their request was denied. And the last letter they received actually said,
"They should have not moved forward with this plan."
Somehow this person knew what they were thinking, what they were doing, planning. That's so mind-blowing. Alright, so let's get into some theories that they have out. Some people said that the Broaddus families are the ones that writ the letter because they wanted out of the house, so they wrote the letter as a plot to somehow get out of it, but that didn't make sense considering it did not work for them. And also, it seemed like a lot of money to just make a decision and be like, never mind. I personally think that they were just very upset because these letters were coming in and because they were very creepy. Some other theories were the old owner can be involved and is writing these letters to creep every person who tries to rent the home is creeped out. that they would want to move. They maybe don't want nobody living there. And then there's another theory. Maybe a third party also wanted the house, but the Broaddus family was already under contract with it, so maybe they kind of had the idea to scare them off. Other theories is that maybe the letters was written by some jerk trying to mess with the family, but because whoever was writing these letters did not harm anyone at the time, it could maybe just be a prank for all we know. Even though the letters were talking about young blood, creepy and scary and getting the kids, very creepy, but they were never anything more than just letters. And because of that, it has been moved to the bottom of investigation list. It was the least of their worries, considering there's actual crimes, murders and all types of other stuff. And for all we know, this could probably be a prank. Police and investigators said they did not know who sent the letters, and it remains a mystery till this day. It's very interesting that there are possible bodies in the walls of the house, or maybe looting. Whatever's in there, it's kind of interesting that no one has tried to search or look in the walls. To take all those walls down seems to be a lot of work, but kind of interesting to know that, is that person really telling the truth? We will never know till this day, and it remains a mystery. Well, guys, that's it for today. I hope you're having a good day. Bye.
Today marks 21 years since Aisha Degree, then 9 years old, disappeared near her home in Cleveland County. To this day, the Sheriff's Office, FBI, and SBI are still searching for clues